Jake, Sharon Rex Hollywood. Jake, congratulations on this book. It's nice to see you again. I love that you wrote this with your childhood best friend, so just walk me through some of the inspiration behind doing this together.
The inspiration is basically that at the time she wasn't an aunt. Now, 3.5 years later after finishing the book, she is an aunt and she's also a mother. So, you know, for us, for me in particular, being an uncle was something I have always loved, but always was, when I first became an uncle, I thought I would know everything about doing it. I'd be so excited I knew, and then all of a sudden it happens, it's the reality, and you're kind of like, wait, how do I do this right? Should I, you know, some people fall into it really easily, and then some people are like, I think most people are like, oh, I think I know how to do this. And really, I learned from my nieces that it's just about being there and enjoying what they enjoy and listening and showing up. And we were talking about that, Greta and I, and we thought, oh, that'd be an interesting idea for a book, and that's how it was birthed.
Going back to the story, you said that, you know, that Uncle Mo, he's a beginner uncle by the end of this book. Did,
yes.
You know, Uncleology, did that come naturally to you?
No, I mean, that's really the point of the book. I think for me, it took some time to understand what the position of being like an uncle is, you know, or an aunt. You know, it's really is defined by your niece or nephew, you know, and I think that's really what the book is about not only seeing your niece and nephew, but seeing the people that you love, like listening and being there. And it's a lot harder than we might think, you know. Because at the beginning of this book, like he's like doing all this stuff to act like an uncle, like to pretend like he knows what he's supposed to do, and he's just all wrong. And that was kind of me, I would say, until like, you know, like all kids do, they teach you. So.
I like this. I liked seeing that it was dedicated to Mona and Gigi, right? Ramona and Gloria, I'd imagine. Do they have any involvement in the writing of this? And
I mean, yeah, like indirectly, not literally, but yeah, I mean, they are all over the book, and the lessons I've learned from them and how much I love them is all over the book. I mean, you know, even there's Mo and Leo, and Mo is, you know, Ramona's nickname, and Leo is my dog, and the great aunt Gloria is Gloria, and my uncle Bob is in there too, and we both, Greta and I, put a lot of our aunts and uncles and got little Easter eggs all over it. So.
And they must have loved that too, and they'll have it forever. Like, Uncle Jake put me in a book.
They are really, I mean, I have to say, there are often times where, like, when I first read it to them, I was nervous about them liking it, or I just, you know, I care about them so much, and I care about, you know, their life and their privacy and all that stuff, and I was just like, I hope you guys are cool with it, and they were like, oh my god, this is the coolest thing ever. So I was really excited about that.
That's so sweet that you thought that through too. You're like, maybe they don't want their names out there and all that.
Yes, no, I mean, that was very important.
That's, you know, that's really incredible as an uncle to have that foresight. Would you say that they're your biggest fans then, or your worst critics?
You know, I gotta say, they are, you know, they're just as humans, they're two just incredible girls, and they're so positive and encouraging and brilliant. So I wouldn't even say, you know, I mean, obviously I can get into a discussion with my eldest niece in particular, who's like, they both have these incredible minds, but like, she's definitely in the intellectual world right now, and like in there she can critique me and tell me I'm wrong. But generally as a person, as people, they're so supportive and loving, and my sister and my brother-in-law raised just such incredible girls. Like, they're just wonderful.
Future's in good hands with them. Good.
With them, yeah. If it was only in theirs, yes.
The deal with everybody else too. That's a whole other issue. Were you a big reader when you were little? Like before bedtime, was that a routine that you did?
Oh yeah, obsessive. I don't know about reading on my own. Yes, I did read, and I still do. But children's books, when I was a child, reading books was so important to me. In fact, you know, like The Magic School Bus is one of my favorite books, and that was a big influence on this book, particularly the idea of kind of the adventure and going to a world of the unknown and kind of falling into it. Like, I always loved that idea, and Greta and I were really influenced by that. So,
I love seeing how you always put forth challenges for yourself in your career. So why did you want to add author to your resume?
You know, writing a children's book is very difficult. It's simplifying an idea down. My mother always said to me, if you want to learn about anything at the beginning, go to the children's section. Because I think usually at the heart of anything, even the most complex idea, is the simplest one. And if you can get that right, then you can kind of work from there. I believe that about films. I believe that about storytelling in general. So to me, it's just a way of trying to communicate a simple idea to that I think ultimately is full of complexity, which children know what's true and what's not, and getting to that was what we wanted to do, and it's a wonderful exercise, and one that I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to do, just probably because of my my alternate career, but I just working with my best friend, trying to work on an idea and devote it to the aunts and uncles that brought us up and taught us about things, and who we loved and enjoyed, and then also being aunt and uncle ourselves, just expressing to our family how much we love them and writing a book about it is just wonderful.
I love how close you are with your family. I'm the same way with mine too, and it's just an incredible gift.
It is, but I mean, I think also what's so important about that is just that it's also complicated, and that the idea of being an uncle and being a kid, it's hard, being a kid is as fun as it can be is also a difficult time, and I think to have the people around you who see you and love you for who you are is really what the book is about.
I do love that Leo sort of he has this dreams of being a dancer, and he thinks his uncle's boring adult job is just so boring. Eye roll.
It is pretty boring.
I mean, rubber.
In fact, when we were writing the book, I was trying to what was most boring job. I was Googled most boring job. That didn't come up. But we figured out. We tried to find the most boring job.
I was going to ask, what did you want to be when you were little, and then what was the most boring adult job that you had?
What did I want to be? I wanted to be a soccer player when I was a kid. I wrote many journal entries about it. That was very, very important to me.
Do you still play soccer?
I mean, sometimes, not recreationally, not professionally. But yeah, that would be But most boring job I've ever had. I've been lucky enough to be excited about a lot of the jobs I've had. I haven't really been. Well, I've been bored. Let's say this: I've been bored in pretty much every job I've done, even if it's been wonderful, so there's always a boring part of every job, no matter what.
Yeah. But sometimes that's when the creative juices spike, though, when you have that little downtime in between.
Yes, I think boredom is a very important thing.
I completely agree. Are you a Funcle?
Sure, yeah, I am, I guess, I mean, first time I've ever heard it, but sure.
Funcle, really?
No, I mean, I've heard the word, but I've never been called it, really. My nieces aren't oh, you're a Funcle,
But would you self-identify then as a Funcle?
I would say that, I always have a lot to learn, but I think fun with them is the most important thing. So I hope they think that about me. I mean, to me, I love cooking for them, and I love, cooking them whatever they want, and
What's
we always have. There's not really, a go-to. The go-to is always asking them and what they're in the mood for and feeling like I can pull it off, and I usually do. And my niece Gloria is always you're the best cook, you're so great. So that always makes, I don't know if that makes me a Funcle, but it makes me a good cook.
No, since you said that they're so intelligent, is this grilled cheese sandwiches, or is this I want tuna tartare?
No. No, fresh pizza, or they mashed potatoes and spinach, and sometimes sometimes steaks, stuff like that,
Yeah.
Simple foods, but when you get to tailor it the way you want it, if they're what do you feel like, and I'll bring over anything you want to eat, I always love that idea of what am I in the mood for? I really want pasta tonight, and if someone could come over and cook it, that'd be amazing, and so I guess I'm their personal chef.
It's kind of the joy of being an adult, though, is that it's now you get to make the food that you've always wanted to eat. You're Mom, I always wanted more cheese, and now I'm an adult.
Totally, and as an uncle, you can be you don't want to eat do you want to eat dessert first? You don't want to eat, you know, the main meal first? We can do it. Like, you want to only eat ice cream? It's fine. I mean, like,
That's big.
I'm not hanging out with you tomorrow, you know, so.
Here you go, sis. Have them back here. Well, this food is a really great segue into, I know a couple years ago you sort of sparked this delicore viral sensation, but for so long we didn't know
Is that a word, delicore?
Delicore, it's
Oh.
a trend.
Okay.
You have the Russ and Daughters tie-dye
Yes,
shirt
yes,
and then
yes.
the locks, which, by the way, you all that money went straight back into helping out-of-work actors, which I think is really incredible that you use your position to do that. But we don't know what the actual go-to Jake Gyllenhaal or bagel order is.
Mhm.
It is until someone helped me figure it out. So I was wondering, we brought it for you, if you could break down what your bagel order is and why it's your go-to.
Oh, wow. Okay. If you got this right,
Sure.
it's a bialy. It's toasted bialy with cream cheese and Nova. You know, like it's just simple, you know, but simple's pretty hard because there are a lot of elements to simple, you know. How Nova is sliced is probably the essence of how good it tastes, you know, so, and then how bialy's toasted and, you know, obviously the cream cheese, what do you like? Do you like it whipped, not, you know, all those things. So the elements of simple is not an easy thing. That's my bagel go-to. Let's see if, I mean, and I know this bagel because obviously I have a deep friendship with Russ and Daughter, so this is so a toasted, this is a go-to. It's simple, but it's good.
Beautiful.
Am I gonna eat it?
You can do whatever you want to do. You don't
Okay, I don't. You're looking at me like I shouldn't.
No, do
Like, you're literally
It's
like, oh
fresh.
God, is he gonna do it? Oh God, I've had this for days.
Do it, Jake.
That's really good.
Delicious. Can I ask you what the
Thank
difference
you
is
for bringing me a
between...
bagel, by the way.
Of course.
Oh,
I
wow.
got one for myself too, so
Oh, okay.
yeah, we're good.
Expensed it.
Yeah.
I got it.
Oh my god.
You got yourself a free bagel?
No.
You were like, I have a great idea. I'm gonna bring Jake a bagel to your boss, and they're like, but probably needs two.
I
got
have backup.
I
saw
have respect for that.
Double Wars Prada. I know we
Absolutely.
need backup for everything.
Absolutely.
Can I ask you what the difference though is between a bagel and a bialy? Because I actually don't know.
I mean, I don't really know the details. Bialy is thinner. The ingredients, like probably the onions in the center of it. And I kind of like a bialy because sometimes the bagel's like really intense. Like there's like just a lot of, it's a lot of dough. This is just a little less dough.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting you got toasted though, because you know there's a big controversy whether or not you toast a bagel or bialy.
I know, you know, if it's super fresh, it doesn't need to be toasted, but like generally that's a texture thing, and like, you know.
Pro toast.
Look, man, it's a bagel. You gotta enjoy it however you enjoy it. You know?
Amen to that. And then I just have a super, super quick last thing, because I just spent some time in Sweden and Norway and a couple other
Oh, wow.
places. Have we been pronouncing your last name wrong this entire time?
It just depends.
Is it Gyllenhaal?
I guess so. I don't know.
What do you say?
I was told it was Gyllenhaal from a very young age,
Okay.
but I have been told that it's Gyllenhaal too. But I don't
Okay.
know.
So I want to make sure, because I heard that. I'm like, you mean like Jake?
You know, it doesn't really matter. Say it how you want to say it. You
Here.
know?
I won't
Yeah,
unwrap, but I'm going to
baby barrel.
cheers.
Oh.
Cheers
okay.
with you. Boom.
Good. Cheers.
Let's do it.
Cheers.
Thank you so much, Jake. I
Thank you so
appreciate
much
it.
too.